Good morning and thanks so much for joining in. You're watching NDTV Profit. My name is Alex Mathew. This is Ask Profit. This is a show that gets you all of the answers that you're looking for if you're wondering about stocks that you'd like to invest in or stocks that you are currently investing in and whether you'd like to hold on to them or not. Now, before we get into all of the questions that you have sent us, and by the way, you can send those questions to us on the WhatsApp number that is on your screen right now, or in fact on any one of our social media platforms. Let's take a check of where the markets are right now. And you have the Nifty 50, which is trading above the 22,000 mark, but not doing very much in trade. In fact, it's down about 0.2% or thereabouts. And you have a few contributors to both sides. In fact, you have the key contributors on the upside, Bajaj Finance doing quite well for itself in trade today, contributing about 9 points or thereabouts, 9.5 points to the gains. And you have L&T, Bajaj Finserv also doing quite well. Among the losers, you have Bharti Airtel and Infosys, as well as ICICI Bank and Reliance Industries and HDFC Bank, which are contributing to most of the losses there. So the heaviest stocks on the benchmark that are losing ground. From the broader end, let's take a look at the broader indices also and see where they're trading. In fact, this is positive because you have the mid-cap index that's gaining about 0.6%, and you have the small cap index that's just about flat at this juncture, recovered from the low point of the day quite substantially at that. And we are going to be focusing on a relatively smaller counter in the focus today, but let me take you through a few key movers. The entire life insurance pack is doing quite well today because there is clarity, if you can call it that, from the regulatory perspective on the surrender value. That was a bit of an overhang. SBI Life is the only one that's down, and we'll come to that if time permits, but HDFC Life up. You have Max Financial, which is up quite substantially in trade today. You have Uno Minda, which arguably is one of the stocks of the day on account of a significant deal that it has gone into. It's up about 2% or thereabouts. But we're going to be focusing on InterGlobe Aviation. I'll tell you why in just a bit. But let me introduce our guests for the day before we get to that. We've got Gaurang Shah of Geojit Financial Services joining in. And we've also got Rajesh Palviya, who's SVP Tech and Derivative Research at Axis Securities. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time, and always a pleasure having you on the show. I want to focus on InterGlobe Aviation because there are a few reports that are out today, brokerage reports, and apparently there was a conversation with the management. The stock is currently at the high point of the day, and it is in fact trading at an all-time high. There is reason to be positive on this particular company because it is adding capacity at a very frenetic pace. In fact, Morgan Stanley is pointed to an overweight rating at 4,145 target, which is quite a significant upside from this point as well. It's pointing to the fact that the company is likely to add one aircraft per week over the course of 2024. And remember, this is a company that already controls about a third of domestic passenger traffic. So it is a significant addition in a space that is going to see heated competition over the course of the coming years as well. Gaurang, I'll come to you. Of course, there's a lot more than just the capacity addition that is going to be spoken about. But what is your view on a company that is currently trading at all-time highs? Should it be gotten into at this juncture?
Thank you, Alex, and morning to all of you all. So first, a disclosure, we had coverage on InterGlobe Aviation during the IPO, and post that on significant quarter-on-quarter, half-yearly and yearly numbers. We were very impressed. We've come out with a standalone buy recommendation, and currently, as our recommendation stands, the target price after seeing the third quarter numbers was revised upwards to about 36 to 3,700. Very soon, we'll see curtain raiser for fourth quarter, possibly first, second week of April. Aircraft addition has led to a lot of positivity in terms of getting larger market share. And of course, with the kind of initiative that the government has unfolded with respect to Udan 1 and Udan 2, and the number of airports that are going to come up in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of capability and capacity that would be needed from the airlines to be in place to capture that market share. The only overhang, Alex, if any, is the issues with the Pleth and Whitney engines and the number of aircrafts which are grounded because of the issues with that Pleth and Whitney engines. If that backlog gets cleared off, I think you will have much more positivity on the stock.
All right, and the stock is in fact gaining even as we speak. So let me very quickly ask Rajesh what the view is on the technicals, because seemingly on the fundamentals it's looking good. What are the levels to watch, Rajesh, if you want to take entry, and should you wait for a little bit or should you get in at these levels?
Morning, Alex. So stock is clearly in uptrend. Stock is enjoying its all-time high trajectory. Looking at the overall structure, we believe that one can even buy at the current market price also, as very strong buying action taking place. This is the third consecutive week where stock is making higher high-low formation. That clearly shows sustained buying action even at all-time high level. So whatever minor dips we are getting in the stock is again, buyer interest is already there in the stock price. So we believe that, this momentum can extend further, and possibly we can see a target towards 3600, 3650 on a higher side on a short-term basis. So buy on dips is the strategy. One can buy and accumulate this stock if you get any opportunity. Keep your stop loss at around 3360 to buy and accumulate the stock for upside target of 3600 to 3650.
Heading very quickly higher. It's now very close to 4% higher. But it's time to jump into the queries. And as I pointed out, that number on your screen is where you can send all your questions to us, and we'll take them to both our fundamental and technical experts. A few of you have already written in, and the first one we'll take. The first question is from Raj. Raj is asking about Tata Technologies, which he has bought at levels of 1,200. He's got 75 shares. So Gaurang, since it's a recent listing, I'm coming to you on the fundamentals. It's given up a little bit of ground, and he's asking whether he can hold or should he average on the dips for the long term, and he's looking at least 3 to 4 years.
So Alex, the floor was 500, and that's the floor where the IPO recommendation from our side in terms of IPO note was given out to long-term investors to subscribe for the IPO in Tata Tech. From the 400 from the floor of 500, the stock made high of about 1400, and from that time onwards, a downward mode and a very long period of consolidation between that 1000 and 1100 mark. Based on that IPO note from a long-term point of view, since he got in at about 1200 rupees and the stock is trading very close to that 1030 zone, which is kind of making a base, if you will, very positive as far as the business outlook is concerned. So if he's in for about 3 years or more, I think he should possibly add on to the stock. At current levels, you can add some, not completely, but closer to 1000, or if it slips below that, which I have a doubt, he can possibly add more over there. But stay invested and hold on, and average would be the recommendation.
Okay, it's not too far away from that 1000 mark, just about 25 rupees or thereabouts. IRFC is up and about in trade today. In fact, we couldn't take this question on Friday, and I promised that I would take it today. Rajendra is tuned in. Rajendra is asking about whether or not he can invest at this current level. It's up over 5%. Rajesh, what's the view on the charts?
So after a significant corrective move, now stock is showing again, buying interest. Overall long-term structure is bullish, and looking at the recovery since last couple of trading session, we believe that, if its stocks now continues to hold above 142 level, then possible pullback can extend further, and we can see target towards 158 to 165 for the stock in the short-term basis. But those who wish to hold it for long-term perspective, I think they can hold on, as overall structure is bullish, and we believe that this stock has potential to again move back to all-time high trajectory, and possibly we can see 190 to 200 kind of target also on a positional basis. So long-term view is bullish. For short-term, keep stop loss of 142. Target is 165.
Understood. We've got a question on Cachi Industries, and let's try and pull up that chart. Monica Sharma is asking this question. She has bought at levels of 80, and the share is currently trading at just about 60 or very close to that mark. It is a pharmaceutical company, and the question is whether she should hold on, should she average right now, should she sell at a loss? Any fundamental coverage on this, Gaurang? And if not, is there an alternative that you can suggest in the space?
Well, Honestly, Alex, have no clue about this company on the fundamental side. So, without referring to this particular company, in case if Monica wants to, and I would advise her one thing, that if you bought in at 80 and if the stock is trading at about 58, 90, I don't know with what time horizon she had bought it. I think everyone should be a little bit aware about protecting the capital also, because if you let your capital get damaged to this extent, then first of all, the recovery of the capital becomes difficult, Alex, and then you have to wait for profit once your capital gets recovered. Having said that, again, no specific comments on Sigachi, but if I have to pick pharmaceutical, maybe mid cap, small cap names, Granules India would be one. Other than that, we like names like Aurobindo Pharma. We like names like Zydus Wellness, Zydus Life are the other recommendation other than the large cap stocks. And once again, go with quality names. Don't go by someone's recommendation or just because the stock is trading at double digit or single digit.
Let me try and get a technical view as well. Just while we're talking about Sigachi, quite a bit of erosion, as Gaurang has already pointed out, Rajesh, on capital. What advice on the technicals would you suggest?
So we have seen a significant corrective move in the stock in last couple of weeks. Stock corrected from 95 level and now it's trading around 60 level. Looking at near-term, short-term structure is weak, and if stocks breaks below 55 level, then possible down move can extend, and we may see further lower level also towards 45 also. So at this moment, if you are still holding the position, I think they should now follow the stop loss because 55 is the important level at this moment. If at all stocks hold this level, some pullback action we can see towards 65. That is again, a supply zone for the stock. So our advice would be to try to exit in the stock in the pullback. 65 and 70 are the immediate supply zone. If you get opportunity around those level, try to exit and or trim down your position.
Okay, which would in a sense be selling at a loss, but at least hopefully you will reduce the amount of loss that you are taking. The next question is on IDFC First Bank. Let's pull up the stock and see where it's currently trading. It was bought at 89 rupees by Karthik, who's writing in from Karnataka, and it's not very far from that mark. In fact, let's pull up the slightly longer term charts to see what it has done. Not too much is happening in the banking space, and if anything, everybody is waiting for something to give, Gaurang. We still got a lot of potential that will likely play out over the course of several years. But for a stock that has gained about 45% or thereabouts, and if you've gotten at slightly elevated levels, should you, if you are still holding on to the same fundamental view, should you average at these levels?
This one is a tricky one for me to answer straight away, Alex. We started covering the stock at around about 35, 40 odd levels. Then, of course, on fallback of earnings improvement and some of the big bad names turning good in terms of NPA going bad and then recovery process coming through. Numbers improving, we constantly raise our targets. The recent targets that we had was about 95 rupees. The stock crossed just over about 100 rupees. 100 rupees 70 paise was the all-time high, correct me if I'm wrong. And at that level around, we came out with the sell recommendation. And as I speak to you, Alex, the coverage on IDFC First Bank is under review. From targets achieved, we had a sell recommendation, and that sell recommendation is under review. So I won't comment specific, but it's got a strong balance sheet. Let's hope that the earnings are going to continue to improve going forward from here on in terms of gross and net NPA coming down, margins improving. But I can't give a straight out recommendation because our coverage is under review right now.
Okay, fair point. Very quick view on the charts then. Rajesh, what should one do if you've gotten at 89 levels, if I'm not mistaken?
So if we can hold on for long-term perspective, I think again stock may cross those buying level. But for near-term perspective, some pressure is visible on the near-term chart, and stock is now trading below to 20-day, 50-day moving average. This is the third consecutive month where stock is facing some sustained supply pressure. But if we look at the long-term structure, stock is now trading near to its important support area of 75. That is important to watch for in this corrective move. If it, at all stocks hold above 75, then some pullback action we can see, and then stock may gradually start recovering. But for near-term perspective, there would be some pressure. But for long-term, yes, he may get his rates again, but he has to wait for another 6 month to 1 year time frame to make this investment profitable. Possibly on the longer term time frame, 120 could be the target.
Okay. Which is a considerable upside. We have to slip into a very quick break. Gaurang, Rajesh, do stay with us, and viewers will be back before you know it. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit. This is where we get all of your stock-related questions answered. And I would like to think that we cater to a wide gamut of investors, those that are just cutting their teeth and those that have been investing for some time. We've got a beginner, and he calls himself that, Vinayak Kulkarni, who's writing in, and he's saying that he would like to invest in a few stocks to begin with. He's asking what the minimum investment is. Of course, that is something that you'll have to decide for yourself, Vinayak, and usually this is something to decide in consultation with an advisor. But then broadly, this depends on your risk-taking appetite. You form a portion of your portfolio into equity. Now, assuming that you want to buy individual stocks, Gaurang, not spending too much time on this, but 5 stocks at this market with Nifty 50 at 22,000 or thereabouts that he can buy for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
So I'll advise Vinayak to do a SIP, but please go and open an account with a SEBI registered renowned broker.
Yeah.
Because today's world, you have a lot of unsolicited, unregistered international universities like WhatsApp and Google and YouTube. Having said that, Vinayak, I think stick to the basics. Don't try to do something which is adventurous. Don't try to be Robin Hood. And first of all, have high risk appetite in case if you are planning to invest in equity market. So the five names, Alex, would be L&T, Reliance, HDFC Bank, M&M, and TCS. I think how much you can buy one share also, Vinayak. I mean, it depends upon your capability and capacity and what kind of time horizon you have. But stick to the basics. Buy quality, don't buy quantity.
Fantastic. All right. And you can continue to buy on an ongoing basis whenever you have the opportunity to. We've got the next question coming from VS Mohan. He's writing in from Talcher and he's asking about Bajaj Finance. And it's at quite a run today. In fact, he's bought at slightly elevated levels. It's trading, if I'm not mistaken, very close to 6,900 right now. And it's up about 2%. It's a top gainer on the Nifty 50. He's bought at 7,200, which is slightly elevated levels. What can he expect in the near to medium term? Rajesh, on the charts, how does it look?
So stock is showing recovery. Though stock was in corrective move and stock has formed a base at around 6,500 level, and this is the second consecutive week where we are seeing recovery trend is taking place in Bajaj Finance. Looking at the near term, short term structure, yes, stock has potential to continue furthermore upside from the current level also. So I think he should hold the position, and possible immediate target where stock can move is 7,050 to 7,100 kind of zone, as the stock has already given breakout on the near-term consolidation. So I think he can hold on the position as recovery is taking place. I think he may get again back to his rates also. And if it's a hold above 7150 level for some more couple of weeks, then possible next target on the high side we can see towards 7400 also. But at this moment, your stop loss should be at around 6800 to hold the long position.
Okay. Gaurang, do you have a view on Ashoka Buildcon? We've got a question coming in from, I'm trying to figure out who's asked this, but Arpit is asking about Ashoka Buildcon, bought significant quantity, 10,000 shares, bought at levels of 110. The stock is currently at 161. He's asking, should he hold on? He's got a view for the next 2 to 3 years. Gaurang?
Well, Alex, I don't know with what objective he bought 10,000 shares. And I pray to Lord Almighty that this is not the only investment. And we always tell investors, Alex, not to focus on one particular sector or one particular stock. It increases your risk in case if there is something negative. Having said that, we maintain a positive stance on Ashoka Buildcon. But like I mentioned, I hope this is not the only investment. He's got diversified investment. In case if this is the only investment, you need to rethink on your investment strategy.
Okay, quick view on the charts then, since he's made quite a bit of money in this. Ashoka Buildcon, should he hold on, Rajesh, or should he book some profits?
I think Ashoka Buildcon right now is trading near to its important multiple support area of 160. That is important level to watch for. If it's hold this level, I think he may exit around 175 to 180. That is the pullback area where we can again see stock in near term to short term. So at this moment, I think trailing stop loss should be at around 158 and hold the position. If you get chance around 175, try to book some profits around those levels.
Okay. BSE and CDSL, both capital market related stocks. Sri Kishore Sharma from Bihar is writing about this. He's bought, I think, September 2022 is when he bought these two. Gaurang, should he add more is a question to get more benefit is what he's pointing out, because I think he's made quite a bit of money, at least in BSE.
So CDSL and BSE, Alex, I won't comment directly, but let me give you an industry perspective. So all those entities which are associated with the Indian stock market, now whether they are platform providers, whether they are services providers, or whether they are depository services providers. Look, if you expect the Indian equity markets to give you a 12 to 15% return over the next maybe about 5 years or more, then all these companies which are associated, whether they are exchange related, whether they are depository services related, or whether they are brokerage related. I am not giving any specific names because we don't have coverage on these two. But these companies will also do well because the volumes are going to increase, the number of investors are going to increase, and we've seen record number of new account getting opened over the last 3 to 6 months. So it's a strong sector. You should look at credible companies over there.
Restaurant Brands Asia, the next counter, Satya has got this question. He's looking to buy for the next 1 to 2 years On the charts, how does it look, Rajesh?
So stock is in corrective move. Looking at the near-term, short-term structure, there is a supply pressure on the stock prices. Looking at the longer-term time frame, the major support area at this moment is placed at around 95, 96 zone. So as he wants to hold it for 1 year to 2 year time frame, the stop loss should be placed at around 95. If it's hold those levels, some pullback action we can see. 120 is the major hurdle for the stock. If the stock crosses those level on a monthly closing basis, the next target on the high side we can see towards 145 to 160 also. But at this moment, if you are holding the position, keep your stop loss at 95.
Okay. A quick follow-up to you on Geo Financial Services, and this is from Suresh Suri. Should he buy at this level? Let's pull up the year-to-date chart in 2024 itself, and the stock has gone higher, quite substantially higher. Should he buy at this level?
Yeah, definitely he can buy as overall structure is looking bullish, whatever data we have till now. So looking at the near-term, short-term structure also, stock is consolidating since last 4-5 weeks, and looking at the overall structure, we believe that once stock crosses over 355, 360 zone, then possible target on the higher side we can see towards 390 to 410 kind of zone on the higher side. At this moment, yes, buy. You can buy at current market price also. Keep your stop loss at around 330.
330. Okay, this is a question that I think Animesh Gautam from Gurgaon is also asking, and hopefully it has gotten answered. MRPL, very quick view, bought at levels of 203. This is Rajkumar's question. Should he hold on, Rajesh?
Yeah, I think he can hold the position. As stock is now on a verge of giving breakout on the daily chart on a falling trend line. I think if stocks manages to cross about 227, then possible really can extend towards 240, 45 also. At this moment, yes, hold the position with the trailing stop loss of 215.
Okay. All right. Unfortunately, we're completely out of time. We could go on. There are several questions that are already still filtering in. But Gaurang as well as Rajesh, thank you so much for joining in, for answering all the questions that you did. Viewers, well, we couldn't answer all of your questions, but we did try. Do stay tuned. Lots more coming up over the course of the day. And this is NDTV Profit.